Sweet as.
All right, ready for the intro we rehearsed?
Yep, roll the sting.
Welcome to the Little Wins podcast. Woo.
Woo. Let's welcome back. This is our second one for our little hype house sort of playlist that we're going here for the moment.
It's so we will watch it so you don't have to, and give you the quick and easy version, and hopefully our version is more entertaining than the actual shit.
Yeah. And lucky for us, it shouldn't be too hard to beat. So, especially after this episode. But before we jump into that, what do you think? Should we give a recap of the first episode?
Yeah. Let's recap the first episode a little bit. So just in case you don't know, The Hype House is a show based on the popular group of TikTok content creators who are ages between like, what would you say, like 17 and 25?
Yeah.
They're young. They're young. Who would you say the main characters we got to know are, though?
Oh.
Who would you reckon?
Noah. I barely know her.
So funny.
That was terrible. Thomas from memory. Thomas is like the big head guy. He's 25.
That's right.
He manages all the stuff. And then obviously Chase is huge. He's a little huddy.
Yeah. I'd say he's like the main.
And then Alex, I would say, is the next one. He's like the filmer.
Yeah, he's pretty big in this one, actually.
Yeah.
Which
Everyone
we'll
else
get to
is
him
kind of
later.
just there. And Nikita is pretty important.
Oh, Nikita's pretty important. Yeah, she has a lot to say all the time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I know, right? So they're kind of the main. Everyone else is just like
cannon fodder.
They're just there,
except for our new favorite main character, who we consider the main character.
Oh,
Mia,
of course.
We'll get into Mia.
We'll get to it later. But yeah, my recap from last week was obviously the pool party.
Of course.
They introduced us, and then it was like, who's going to come to the pool party? Big, suspense there. Can't wait.
So much suspense.
That's all I can really remember. Can you remember much else?
It was just the introduction of everyone.
Yeah.
And then it was the shitty pool party.
Yeah.
And that was kind of it. And that was 30 minutes of our life gone.
Yay. But then it had us on a cliffhanger because they said, hey guys, we're going to have a dinner party.
That's right.
And last week, you'd know that we were like, fuck, who's going to come to the dinner party?
Who's going to come to the dinner party?
Because Chase wasn't going to invite everyone and there was drama.
And he didn't invite everyone.
Exactly.
He did invite some people, obviously, because a dinner party where you don't invite anyone isn't much of a dinner party, is it? It's more of a just normal dinner at
Uber Eats takeout, probably.
Yeah, it's more of a sad evening, really.
So I honestly couldn't contain myself for a week. George went away to Fraser Island, so we had to wait a while.
It was very beautiful.
So I just couldn't live with myself. But we've waited, we've watched it, and it's finally here about the dinner party.
And you know what? As bad as the first episode was, at least it had some resemblance of a structure, of a story structure. It was building up to this pool party. That was the climax of the episode. Within the first 10 minutes of this episode, the entire synopsis is gone, where it's like, oh, we've had the dinner party and Alex and Caviar have had their big fight. Oh, what's the rest of the 20 minutes for? Random bullshit.
Fill it with anything. Did you make a TikTok? Put that in there. Let's go.
Oh, you're not making TikToks? Put that in there too.
Basically, this thing was obviously the dinner party was the main. That's the premise. That's what they have in the.
That's what they hyped up.
Yeah, legit. So it's like, okay, the dinner party, but that thing was done in the first 5 minutes. So basically, I think it was the dinner party, the cancer culture, which we'll get into.
We'll get into that.
And then just heaps of big font transitions of like.
Yeah, was that it? I swear that wasn't in the last episode.
I didn't think
where
that
they
was.
just have random big font transitions.
I think that's what because they ran out of stuff. They're like, fuck, let's just go to Nikita's place or whatever. So now we're at Nikita's place, big font.
Maybe it gives like a false sense of structure. Yeah. Maybe that's what it does. Yeah.
That comes off a lot of reality TV. Like, that's heaps in Love Island.
That's true. That's true.
It's that. And they're reminding you of who characters are literally every time they're on screen because they're so so forgettable.
They're so cut and paste.
What's this guy? Like, we just met him last scene. And I'm so glad it comes up, but like
same because I kept on getting Connor and Alex mixed up. At first, I didn't know Connor was it because all the other characters had like a main introduction in the last episode. This episode introduced, I'd say, 2 or 3 new people. One of them obviously doesn't need an introduction. Charlie D'Amelio. We all know who Charlie D'Amelio is. Don't need an introduction. but who the fuck is Connor?
Yeah.
Why is he in that?
I'm right here, bro. Come on.
But who the fuck was it? He was just randomly there.
Yeah. Well, he was in there. Well, that was the first thing of the episode. So we'll get into that.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do that first.
It started off with obviously this Connor guy, and this is the first problem because Alex needs to keep making content.
Because he's, and this is my favorite quote from him. He said, because they've spiked down. I don't think that's what a spike means. I think it means a spike is usually like up.
Yeah.
And it's like, spiking down, bro. I'm sorry, that was just a little grammar thing that I was just
he's bottom of the barrel.
But the point is he's losing views.
Yeah. And obviously another famous quote from him is like, social media is all about numbers. I was like,
all
get
about
fucked,
numbers.
Mate. No way.
No way.
Einstein over
Likes, followers.
Yeah, dude, if you're not producing the numbers, dude, you're just going to crumble. Oh, no shit. I fucking could have told you that for free.
This guy is wise beyond his years.
Oh, legit. So he basically was complaining about how he has to keep making content because obviously he's spiked down. So he needs to think of something creative, and he gets this guy out with a theme park ride where you like stand in and it spins.
I wouldn't even say it's a theme park ride. It's one of those kind of like what astronauts use to like try. It's like a mini version of that. Of, you for people who don't, let's try and explain what it is. It's where you strap yourself in and then it kind of like spins you around and like kind of like, I think it's meant to simulate.
You can go literally all 360 degrees. So front, back, sideways.
Is it meant to simulate 0G or something like that?
No, 0G is when it spins super fast.
Oh yeah, true.
This one is like,
maybe I'm the idiot.
It's still held to gravity, but like there's 3 circles. So one makes you flip forward, one makes you flip sideways, and then one makes you flip on
X,
all
Y, and
axes.
Z axis.
Yeah,
gotcha.
That's exactly the best way to put it.
Gotcha.
So anyway, he put this Connor guy in an astronaut suit in there, and he's like, I'll film that. It'll be funny or whatever. But he gets into it and like first spin fucking hates it. He's like, get me out of here.
He bangs his head on the thing.
Yeah, I think he bangs his head. He's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And then Alex is like, not even concerned for his friend. He's just like, well, fuck, now I don't have a video. And he's just like, oh my God.
He's like, fuck me. I don't, but also on paper, not a bad idea. It's just like, what do you expect? You just put it in this boring dirt field. And you didn't like put any pageantry around it or anything. No wonder it turned out to be a bad video.
Yeah, like how's that going to make a 10-minute video? I'm guessing it's going to hit 10 minutes.
Well, it will hit, trust me, it'll hit 10 minutes once he gets those mid-rolls in.
True.
Right? Don't you worry.
Yes.
He will get to 10 minutes if he has to murder a puppy. He will get to 10 minutes.
Foreshadowing?
No Next video. What's up, guys? Today I'm throwing my girlfriend's dog off the balcony.
It's going to be hilarious. But so they made this guy come out and they were like, fuck, like just wasted this guy's day because he had to bring
but then
park.
again, $700
It was $700 for like 30 minutes of content, he said. 30 minutes of the day, sorry.
So yeah, for that guy for you to use the thing for 30 days, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's $700.
Yeah, not a bad gig from that guy. Well done. But also unlucky, Alex. You just wasted $700 for literally nothing.
That's about like 1,500 AUD, Australian dollars.
Is it?
Yeah.
Shit.
It's a lot of money, like for 30 minutes. I mean, fair enough. It's a complex machine, takes a lot of like expertise.
Training. That guy looks like he was well trained in it. Literally. just looks like any other guy you get at like the traveling shows. Yeah.
He's just a carny, you know?
Yeah, carny guy. So that happened, and then Alex was freaking out because he didn't have content.
He's like, fuck.
But then it shied away from that, and then we finally, we've all been waiting for
the dinner party.
Let's go.
Oh, I was so keen. I thought the dinner party, was going to break. I thought we were just going to get some classic reality TV drama, and we got Jenga as Truth or Dare.
Yeah,
and it sucked. Post a thirst trap on your Instagram story.
Yeah, it was so cringy because so they played Jenga with Truth or Dare, and Chase got like post the thirst trap or whatever, and he did the fuck, like all that stuff. But then like it was so just like the irony is like, because that's his whole persona.
I know,
like that's what he does on TikTok. And then because he did the thing, and then he stopped they stopped filming the TikTok, and then he went over and was like, oh, how did I look? And I'm like, bro, you like do that for a living. Like, do you see what
Yeah, I see what you're getting at. It is a little bit kind of like, oh, I don't want to post a thirst trap. That's so embarrassing. That's how you became famous.
That is literally how you became famous.
Like,
and he was like, he went up to us like, oh, it looks like, oh, this is so funny. I'm doing this is so funny. It's like, yeah, it is funny that you're doing because like that's your fucking living.
To be fair, the only good joke that came out of that segment, which I applaud Larry for doing. I know it's Larry, but I'm calling him Larry forever.
Let's call him Larry.
Right, Larry is when it's like, oh, call the most famous person in your phone, and he just calls Charlie D'Amelio, who's standing right next to him. To me, that's pretty funny.
And he's not wrong.
Like, so to me, I was like, hats off for that. That was actually pretty funny.
There you go.
And we'll get into Larry drama later because he's got a big thing at the end of the episode. Big thing at the end of the episode.
So they sat down at the dinner party, which was literally just lollies and snacks.
Yeah,
so
they just snacked the whole time. What the fuck?
Yeah, literally like those like lolly geckos and sour straps. And they shot it in a way that they all sat at the table, but I picked up on this. No food was served. No one ate shit.
And they had like professional, you see the shot where they had professional chefs in the kitchen cooking amazing. You see a snippet of the food.
Yeah.
It looked quite nice.
And it wasn't like you saw like, I'm not trying to say like they didn't show any food shots. I understand that. But like there was no one like actually physically eating.
I know.
Like I feel like.
You just hear through the microphone. Yeah. Hey, so Charlie and Chase.
Because they would eat like that
so
too.
you're not dating anymore?
Oh yeah, far out. Nikita just with the heavy ball. It seemed very set up is what I'm trying to get at. Like, okay, everyone sit around the table and fucking talk drama, which is what Nikita went straight to Chase and went, so like.
Why are you sitting here and Charlie's, why is she sitting over? Oh, but did you guys, you broke up. Oh
no. That's terrible. Am I just like adding fuel to the fire?
And do you know what's worse though? It didn't even bring up any drama. They just went really quiet.
Yeah, Chase just got really shy and backed away.
Because he's a shy guy.
Yeah.
You know?
For those who don't know, if you've lived under a rock, but Chase and Charlie dated. It was huge. And then they broke up. Shocking. But they're still friends and play arcade games together.
That's true. So we can all agree that we can blame Charlie D'Amelio for all of Chase's shitty music.
Yes.
We can finally agree.
Thanks. Yay.
You know what, Charlie? I understand I don't know who ended it, but I understand if you don't want to be in it. Like, that's fine. You know, they're young. Relationships change. But God damn it, Charlie, why the fuck did you have to break his heart and while he was just trying to get his music career started?
She created Lil Huddy. And that's something that's unforgivable forever.
That should be a war crime.
I know, right? If you create a shitty SoundCloud rapper, you're done.
Where did I go wrong?
So yeah, Nikita started drama, but it wasn't even drama. It's boring. Like literally, this is like the first 10 minutes or whatever, 5-10 minutes. Like the content's out and the dinner party's over. And it's like, well, fuck, now we need to.
Well, but here's the thing though. I do want to talk about one more thing at the dinner party before we move on. I thought one thing that could have been interesting was they were going to maybe talk about, they mentioned cancel culture, right? And about how Nikita was quote unquote canceled. I mean, she seems to be doing fine. She's on a Netflix show.
Yeah.
I think she's doing okay. Because she hosted a party in the pandemic, which I actually remember hearing about. I didn't know it was her because I haven't known who she is until watching this now. Like I haven't known. But I didn't know that was her. Because that's a pretty awful thing to do.
I know. It was like, I remember it being like right in the peak of like COVID ISO for Australia. I remember being like away and then like this happened. I'm like, oh my gosh, the TikTok is like, get rid of them. They're done. Get rid of them. But yeah, I didn't know it was literally Nikita that was the one that orchestrated the whole debacle.
Yeah. And
like,
I think that she didn't seem very like apologetic.
No, she was
She's like, yeah, I know it happened and it was so irresponsible, not COVID safe. You don't? Okay.
No, she kind of like blew it off like, yeah, I know, that's just me. It's just like, you can't blame like, she kind of like, yeah, because I'm a Sagittarius. That's like what I am. It's
I'm just
like,
so
you can't
Sagittarius.
blame that. You literally committed a felony. Like you could be trialed for this and you're just like blaming your star sign for it. Like,
did she blame her star sign?
No, but she didn't that. Okay. I found it. I thought it was like that.
I was about to say, did she go, such a Sagittarius?
I know,
but I have to admit, it's probably more Aquarius than Sagittarius. So.
You're definitely right. 100%.
100%. But yeah, it wasn't a meaningful conversation about cancel culture. They were like, what did Larry get? Larry got cancelled for something apparently. I forgot what it was.
It was because he was at that party, I think.
No, something else. He some tweets or something, but they didn't go into what those tweets were. Yeah. So they didn't really have a meaningful conversation about, like, I understand one thing I do quite understand about them though, which clearly might be hard, is that they can be cancelled and lose essentially a lot of what they've built at any time for any little thing. And a lot of these accusations could be based on nothing, no facts, like just nothing but accusations, and they can lose brand. That must be, I would be constantly anxious if that was my career. So I completely understand that angst that must put on such young people that, you're responsible for millions of dollars worth of brand deals You know how fucking dumb I was at 17, let alone now? Like, I'm if you give me if an audience heard everything I said, like, when I was 17 or anyone when they're 17, we say dumb shit. That's just how it works. That's what growing up and maturing is. But these guys have brand deals and millions of dollars on this. So I kind of get that. I don't know if you also got that, but I kind of get where that worry and angst comes from. I think that's a fair thing to have as to be troubled by.
I agree. No, I know where you're coming from. Like, when you said it out aloud, kind of sounds like crypto. It's so fragile. It could change at any minute, but it's huge, like, rewards, Just low
Don't get me started on crypto.
I've had my
crypto rant tonight to Connor earlier, and I'll keep doing my crypto rant, but maybe for another time.
George just said about cancel culture is the exact same with crypto. So there's take something out of that, do what you will with that information.
Yeah, just wildly misquote me.
But that you make very good points.
Okay, let's move on to. I would love to talk about the
Alex's
the argument. I want to talk about Alex's argument with Caviar. Kova is how we finally figured out how to pronounce the name.
Caviar.
We call it Caviar.
Yeah.
So I actually really want to talk about this because what did you think about their argument initially? Do you remember what it was about?
Fuck all, mate. Sorry, I knew like they were arguing she needed space because she couldn't work and life was correlateless clashing, and then she just went on and ranted like he uses logic and I use emotion and they don't work together. But I kind of sided with him like, well, if he's being logical, like, hey, like, I don't know. I feel like the emotions got the better of her, and Alex just got wrecked.
All right, well,
for no reason.
Here's what I saw from the argument because I listened very closely on this. Here's why I think you're wrong.
Oh, okay.
I actually think Caviar is in the right, and here's why. So the argument was about is that in their bedroom, Alex has a giant table in there full of he has all of his camera equipment everywhere. Like their room is just filled with all of his gear. And she's saying, hey, can we I want some of the bedroom to be my space, right? Which I think is fair enough, right? Yeah. And he's saying, oh, what? But all the shower space is yours? What? You don't spend a majority of your time in the shower. I mean, they might. But, so what the argument was she was saying, hey, I need more space in our personal space.
Yeah.
And he just straight up says, oh, you're delusional because you want more space because I have to have all my camera gear there. I can't put it in another place. So that's why that's what the argument was about. So I actually think what she was saying was pretty valid. She had a pretty valid reason to be annoyed with him, which was that he's taking up all their space and then calling her delusional for calling him out on it. That's
pretty big. Okay, now that you've brought that to light, I
understand why you zoned. I understand why you zoned.
Yeah, well, fuck, I'm not gonna listen to that. I don't care about their life. I mean, film equipment is expensive.
It is very expensive.
Just leave that lying around in the fucking hype house. Hey, seeing that the pigsty that it was in, by the way.
Oh my God. Before we get into the pigsty, just I hate it when I'm like, babe, can you move over? I got to put my GX7 tripod in the middle of the bed.
I got this lens, bro. Like this lens is literally worth more than you. So get off the bed.
Hey, you might have 60 million followers, but this lens could probably feed a small continent.
Honestly, fucking hell, lenses these days.
Oh my God.
So do we want to go into, we could go into hype house mess, or should we do the content that has to keep going bigger and bigger?
Let's just close up on Alex and Caviar real quick so Alex had this brilliant idea to solve two problems.
Yeah.
To both A, apologize to Caviar, but B,
make some content, baby.
Which makes some money, baby. Yeah. Because everybody knows that all best apologies are ones that ultimately lead to profit. Oh my God, wow. This is not the third time we're trying the second half of this because the software we use is poorly designed.
It's all about, learning it, dare to suck, like we've said with Kid Cudi.
And we suck a lot.
We sucked not just once, not twice, but now 3 times.
We just keep sucking, you know?
And we'll suck until there's nothing left to suck.
We will just suck it dry.
We'll be so good at sucking that...
Go on.
Fuck me. I don't know where we're going with that. Anyway, we're trying to try and figure out where we left off. Yeah. We're talking about Alex and Caviar.
But this is where we get into the best part of the episode, which our new favorite character, Mia, calls him out on.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's the MVP. Is that he decides to apologize. And as you've said in the couple times we've recorded this, he killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
2 birds, 1 stone. He's like, I can apologize to my girlfriend and I can have content.
Which is just as, if not more, important.
Exactly. I was like going to say, I don't care about the apology. I want to see some good content.
And you know what? Good content.
He brought.
He tried.
Definitely tried.
If he thought his astronaut thing at the start of the episode sucked, boy, did he go downhill.
Yeah. And also probably pissed off his girlfriend more-ish.
I don't think he pissed her off, but other people probably look at this and say, this is fucked up.
Well, we looked at it and said it was fucked up.
Tell him what the apology was.
Oh, yeah. Well,
do you remember?
It's been a day and a half now, but I vaguely remember he likes putting his friends in uncomfortable situations with animals they hate. For example, last time her girlfriend got bit by a goose. So just obviously, as you do, he brought in a goose to watch her reaction. And then that was content and funny.
And that's not manipulation at all.
It's not.
Of course not.
That's not.
It's funny.
It's not bad like relationship.
Oh, your girlfriend has a fear of something and you surprise her, put a goose in her room. That's fine.
Good on you.
That's healthy relationship.
Sounds very healthy.
So what if the goose shits on her bed? So what if you can't get the smell out for weeks?
Last time, which is what she was going on about, which just means physical harm was done. That goose or geese, is it been put down? Is it still a threat to society?
Is it still on the run?
Is it menacing out there?
Is it still menacing out there? I love your grammar.
He's just standing there.
Like the night. So pretty much Alex decides to bring in a fox, a fennec fox, which if you don't know is the smallest type of fox there is.
Yeah.
They're cute as shit.
Yeah, the Hype House is turning into National Geographic, so credits to the boys.
Dude, I want David Attenborough to narrate this shit.
Yeah, or narrate would be very interesting because what we saw was quite awkward and disturbing. Just basically like had the fennec fox in there and like shows it to the girlfriend, but also the whole Hype House is there.
Yeah.
And then he's also recording that.
He's like when she's like, oh, it's so cute, and he's apologizing to her. I've pointed this out the other 2 times we've recorded this. He's just looking down the viewfinder. He's not looking at her. It's so disingenuous and sad. And Mia is the only MVP who gets that. She's like, why has he got to record everything? Why can't he just apologize to her privately and try and do it maturely and put her first? Why is he got to worry about content? And I'm like, damn, Mia, respect.
And that was the day that we respected Mia. And she doesn't belong in the Hype House.
We more than know her.
Nice, well done. But yeah, it's kind of sad because he's like, instead of being like, oh my gosh, is my girlfriend, is she enjoying this? Rather, he was like, oh my gosh, is she in focus? Like he just was focusing on the fucking camera. And then everyone else in the room was there too, and it was super awkward. But anyway, moving on from that.
It's the end scene, isn't it?
I don't know. Have we talked about Katya, is it?
Katya?
What's
Nikita?
Nikita.
Yeah, she's the last scene. Nikita and her major drama with the end scene. I think that's what that's next. I feel like we've talked about like the everything before, because the major thing after this is literally just the end bit with Nikita's drama of which we shall reveal, which is where she's talking to her agent and then her manager calls her, which are 2 different, like they're kind of similar, kind of different, right? I think this agent was more like her YouTube content or something, but she's talking about doing like a dodgeball game or something.
Oh, nice.
And I've never heard anybody talk about balls more than Nikita.
Yeah. She loved to like talk about funneling balls and shit like that. She's like, she wanted people's balls to be thrown everywhere at faces. And then there was some weird glances from the manager.
Just like, okay. Is it just me, or did her manager seem like they had to write a script for her? Because she's just like, I don't know how to.
She seems so out of place.
Yeah.
She just like nodded and smiled like,
okay.
Just smile and wave, boys. Just smile and wave.
Producer's got a gun behind the camera and pointed at her. But
honestly, I think a lot of people have gun behind the cameras for this.
Oh God, at themselves. Pointed at themselves. But pretty much in this last scene though, the big climax of the episode is that we find out
Drama alert here. Well, if it wasn't already foreshadowed enough that Nikita likes to go to parties with COVID, my God, she's done it again. But it wasn't her fault. It was Larry now.
Yeah.
Larry's in trouble because
fuckhead.
Nikita was at the party COVID free. So
she was
congrats.
COVID free.
But then apparently she egged on Larry to come who had COVID.
Who had apparently, according
allegedly
to her, tested false positive.
Yeah.
But here's the awkward thing. Turned out he was positive. By the end of the day, if this fuckhead went to the party, he can't just go, oh, Nikita made me go. Yeah, you're a grown man. You can decide your own actions.
Yeah.
You can decide to go if you really want to go. You can, sure, Nikita might have egged him on, and if she did do that, that's irresponsible, sure. But it's not.
She didn't take you there.
She didn't handcuff him.
You have to go, hey, I'm going to go to this party with maybe COVID.
With I think that it's obviously, as her manager was saying, it's like, oh, they're just saving face, blah, blah, blah. It's like, but it's Larry's fault here. And when will they have the conflict? When are they going to meet up next episode? Are they going to have to fight? Are they going to have, what's going to happen? I don't know.
That dodgeball game is going to be very interesting. I hope they actually show that.
I hope they do that too.
But it was, it's so ironic because they're like, hey, like, we're not too sure. Like, I didn't tell Larry to come with COVID. Like, I didn't know he had COVID. I didn't egg him on. And then that's when the episode ends. And the next episode it goes, hey guys, we had to stop filming for 2 weeks because Larry had COVID and we couldn't do anything. And you're like, oh, the rumors were true. No. So Larry did up having COVID, and guess what? His actions had consequences. Him going to that party really fucked it up. And then him also stopped production on this Hype House thing. Thank God. Hopefully nearly just stopped completely.
He nearly ended the pain and the suffering.
But sadly, not enough.
Not enough.
We'll have to keep going through with it.
I think that kind of brings us to the end of the episode, but also brings us to a little thing at the end of
little wins.
A little wins.
It's felt a lot quicker this third time around.
It has felt. Is it because we've done it? Maybe we're just becoming more efficient as it goes.
Maybe.
The only thing from the other two recordings that I think we've missed that I really liked was when you were talking about the goose, when Alex brings in the goose to Caviar, and you forgot it was a goose that he brought in. So you're like, oh, I think she was scared of like a Siamese tiger leopard or something. Yeah. And I'm just picturing this Siamese twin leopard with like two heads running around her room, just like tearing it up.
Go in there, honey. Go in. Just a little push. I'm sure it's fine. Like
he just rips a producer apart. Like both heads have like a different
already killed the curly-headed fuck though. I see the blood everywhere all over the walls.
It's okay. They're twins. There's another.
Yeah, the other one's really nice. I promise. Yeah, that was the other one. And there was, I think, another thing because you were really defending Caviar in the last one too.
I was. That's right. Yeah.
And I was just like, don't tell me you've come to care for the boy.
Oh, that's right. I do. I have to say that Caviar, because
she's very talented or something.
Oh, actually, that's right. Thomas mentioned she's probably the most famous out of in the house. She's actually one of the more famous ones, and I can kind of see why. She kind of has personality to her. And she seems pretty grounded. She doesn't seem too I don't know, like I get her struggle of like, I want clear boundaries between content and our relationship. And we just don't have that because you have all your content stuff all around our room, our living and our workspaces aren't separate. I feel her. I feel it. I get it. I mean, don't you?
I get it. But also like she also rocked up to a strawberry farm in a Rolls Royce. So
okay, that's true. Okay, fair point.
So yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, yeah, she wants work and life to be separated, but I feel like she's not too grounded. I'll have to disagree. No,
obviously she's in the Hype House. She's gonna, and also she's like,
I feel like we missed something with Chase. We were fucking nailing Chase, I reckon.
Oh, dude, the only thing really we mentioned about Chase was that Thomas is paying his rent.
Yeah,
and I don't know if we mentioned that in the hidden files or if we mentioned that. But in the first half of this.
Reiterate that because that is.
Hopefully they'll come up in the future because as we've maybe mentioned already, Thomas is paying Chase's rent.
Yeah.
Which is a huge grift on Chase's end. Like, bro, good job. Yeah. You got your friend to pay your rent for another mansion. Like, oh, it's a Hype House 2.0. No, it's not. It's Chase's arcade room.
Yeah.
You know?
Where he hangs out with Charlie D'Amelio. Wink, wink. Nudge,
wink,
nudge.
wink. But they're just friends.
They're just friends, though. Nothing crazy's happened.
They're just friends.
Yeah.
Who play pinball together.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. But yeah, okay, so yeah, this episode's been a bit of a mash up, literally.
Were you trying not to say mess?
No. We just for lack of a better word, yes, no joke.
But that's okay, man. We fumbled, but we grabbed the ball in the end. which Nikita would love, by the way.
And I think yes,
we really grabbed this by the balls.
Yeah, but I think it's also credit to us because it shows how dedicated we are.
How much
to finish this fucking episode and keep watching the Hype House to make sure you guys don't have to do it. We'll go around 3 times watching it to make sure you don't have to watch it at all.
And trust me, we're doing a national service.
Yeah. So
are we going to get a Medal of Honor for this?
I reckon, honestly, Victorian valedictory. Is that what it is? Something.
A valedictorian is like the top grade, like the person who gets like all the top marks in school. And it's like
really?
Represents the school, yeah.
Well, fucking.
I think you're thinking of a Purple Heart or something in the military.
Yeah, I was thinking something like that.
Or the
one where you save people. Like if you save someone, you
something
get like
cross.
Victorian cross.
I also sound like an idiot, so we'll just skip past that. What's your little win?
Yeah, a little win
for yesterday / today.
Yeah, I'll go with the one I said yesterday. My random act of giving from the universe. Long story short, make omelets for breakfast, and I need to make sure the omelet's not sticking to the pan. So instead of using canola spray or whatever, I'll use butter because it adds more flavor. And the other morning, I fucking put some butter in the pan, moved it all around, and it was exactly enough to get the whole pan covered, the surface area covered, and not have extra butter left over.
That is some seriously satisfying shit.
It was fucking epic. I couldn't believe it. Then everything just fell into place and I made like this fucking awesome omelet. So
that's a perfect little win.
It was like the perfect little win.
That's pretty good.
That's exactly what I thought of.
My little win is I installed as a little joke, I installed on my girlfriend's laptop Desktop Goose, which is this little app where it there's this little cartoon goose that like waddles around on your screen and will drag out memes or like little notes or whatever, and like will steal your cursor every now and then. Like, it's just lighthearted and fun, right? And she was like just starting to send me like Snapchats and of like the little goose, and she was like customizing it and she loved it and thought it was really funny. And I was just glad that, I brightened up her day, just that little 1%. It made her laugh with something dumb that I thought was funny. And she also thought was dumb and funny. So that was my little.
That's what we do here. We just try and, make the lives of others better any way we can. Just little things, big things. And
little things grow.
Little things, exactly. George didn't know who Paul Kelly was? He's an absolute Australian icon.
I know the song, but I didn't know it was fucking Paul Kelly.
You don't know like any of his other songs, Paul Kelly, and neither does My Misso.
Mate,
so
Adelaide is not like the other places of Australia.
Yeah, true.
That I grew up in Adelaide, and that ain't.
Still no excuse to not know a fucking Australian legend, but that's all right.
Okay.
We're getting a bit sidetracked, but anyway, just trying to bring joy to everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and we'll soldier on and try and watch the third episode.
Do you know Kathy Emma?
Who's Kathy Enma?
Kathy Emma Dick.
Oh, he's done it. He's got me with
You knew that was coming, right?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I saw that coming.
Okay.
Not quite.
Well, I guess that's the end of this episode, hopefully.
Yeah. Until something fucking pops up that we've done it wrong again.
Well,
but I think we've done everything. It was a really weird, unstructured episode in the Hype House and for us.
But hopefully next episode will be stronger and less cluttered, and hopefully so will the next episode of the Hype House.
I hope so too. All right. Goodbye,
See you on the other
Tri-State area.
side. Goodbye.